I am not looking forward to The Mandalorian Season 3. This is probably going to be a bit of a shorter video and probably really ranty. I didn't really write a script for this one, so it's probably going to be a little bit all over the place. But I really felt like talking about this because The Mandalorian Season 3 is right around the corner. I just saw some ad that said it was going to be out March 1st. I am not happy with what has been shown. So, okay, I guess I should preface this. I really enjoyed the first two Mandalorian seasons. I almost enjoyed the Boba Fett show. In retrospect, the Boba Fett show was way worse than I was giving it credit for. I will admit, so many things they could have done. There's so many ways that they could have taken that show, and they just completely fucking dropped the ball with it. And the reason why I'm bringing up the Boba Fett show is because 2 episodes were dedicated to the Mandalorian, and then when those episodes came out, everyone was fucking raving, being like, and joking around, being like, haha, funny that the only 2 good Boba Fett episodes were the Mandalorian episodes. This is at Mandalorian season 2.5. But that alone should show the issues with Mandalorian Season 3 going forward, because Season 2 ended with one of the most heart-wrenching and compelling cliffhangers in any of the Star Wars shows that I've seen so far, where we've gotten to a point where Grogu and Din Djarin are not going to be together, and that sounded like an exciting, a super interesting Season 3. It was going to probably go into like the Mandalorian's feelings about having lost what was essentially his son. We could have seen where Grogu was going to be doing with Luke in his like training, but the fucking Boba Fett show decided, you know what? Let's not delve deeper into this plot. Let's not make this a super long and interesting, compelling story arc. Let's just do this in 2 episodes. Let's just fucking get it over with. The fans are not going to watch The Mandalorian if Grogu's not in it. No. There's no way that they're going to watch it if they're not together. How are we going to get that money? How are we going to get those people to watch it and get their money? We have to put them back together. And that is what is really pissing me off about The Mandalorian Season 3. The plot line that they have set up that I've seen in the trailers sounds like it's going to be really exciting, where the Mandalorian needs to, they set it up in Boba Fett, but the Mandalorian needs to get his fucking groove back, basically. It's really upsetting. They could have had that story arc with just the Mandalorian, having him think about his consequences. It's been stated that like he's basically in a cult, but he could have been thinking, he could have gone into deep thought of how much it means for him to be a Mandalorian versus how much it means to have shown his face to Grogu, how much it means to have him as a son. Like, he could have gone into any of these like avenues. It could have really went deep into the Mandalorian's like thought process of everything that has happened, showing Grogu's face and then losing his Mandalorian like status. Then it could have been so interesting. It could have been so interesting, and then you can go back and forth between Din Djarin's journey, trying to like go get his Mandalorian status back, and then going to Grogu, and then seeing where his training is leading him up to be. But no, they fucking decided to get rid of half of that in the fucking Boba Fett show that almost no one was gonna see because it's not the Mandalorian. So one, people have to watch the fucking Boba Fett show to understand what's going on in Mandalorian Season 3. But not just that, it completely ruined any potential story arc that could have happened in Mandalorian Season 3. The Boba Fett show caused so much problems for the Mandalorian, and I feel like it could have been so easily fixed. Let's say instead of having the 2 episodes where the is focusing on the Mandalorian and Grogu, they could have had use those episodes on Boba Fett in the Boba Fett show, and then save the Mandalorian stuff for after the Boba Fett show. But not even that. If they really, really, really wanted to have the Mandalorian in the Boba Fett show, they could have had him in as just like, let's say they're having this war, right? This war. And they really needed manpower. They said this all the time. We need manpower. So they could have had this thing where Boba Fett's just like, if we're gonna win this war, we need some more manpower. And then Fen Sharon, I don't remember her name, but like she's like, I think I know just the guy to help us. And then it cuts to the Mandalorian walking through the little doors or whatever, and then like it starts from like his boots and it goes all the way up to his mask, and then like just have the like cold like reveal of, oh, this is our guy or whatever. You know what I mean? Like at least like something silly like that. Something where yes, we acknowledge the Mandalorian and Boba Fett are like comrades now, but without completely ruining a compelling potential story arc for season 3 of Mandalorian. It could have been done in such a way that it didn't ruin the Mandalorian. But they didn't do that. The only thing they fucking care about is getting them asses in them seats, which, like, I get it. But people were gonna watch The Mandalorian season 3 anyways. If they were still not together, they knew we were gonna watch Grogu, like, with the Jedi stuff. But they fucking crammed that shit in 2 episodes when it could have been, like, a whole ass season worth of content. And they just, it really pisses me off, man. Like, they really could have like made it so interesting, but no, they stuck it in 2 episodes. And then the other thing that really the other thing that really pisses me off is Grogu. He and Luke, they were training, and like I know eventually they were gonna bring Grogu and Mandalorian back. And again, this could have made such a more cathartic and like emotional moment if they just extended the story arc to be longer, to have them have more time spent apart, and then the moment they finally came together, it would have been so much more cathartic for the better. It would have been so much better if they had waited that long, and then at the very end of season 3 they're finally together again. Oh, that could have been so much better. It could have been so good. But no, we need to have The Mandalorian with Grogu and The Mandalorian. Fucking might as well title the show The Mandalorian and Grogu at this point, because God forbid we have it just be The Mandalorian. That goes into the other thing I was about to go into. The fact that Luke it basically feels like Luke gave up on Grogu just like immediately. Like, I understand the idea of like, oh, Grogu is so attached to the Mandalorian that like this could lead to very bad things in the Force or whatever, like, because like that's like a thing that like happened to Anakin, like his attachments whatever he went to the dark side because he was too attached to Padme, and he tried to protect her at all costs, but like even at the cost of his own humanity pretty much. And it's like, okay, I hear you, I understand that, but don't you think it would be better to, teach a Jedi? Teach someone that has those Force powers, especially as powerful as Grogu's? Don't you think it would be better to, teach him how to use them and forego said attachments? Teach him how to do that, because, how easy could it possibly be for Grogu to fucking just become a Sith, basically, because of his attachments already? Like, he won't have the training, but he can fucking figure it out. I'm sure he could try. It feels like it's such a stupid decision too. It feels like they didn't even like think it through. It feels like they didn't even think it through, that like, what happens when we let a rogue like force wielder into the fucking wild without training it. It's so easy for a random fucking force wielder to just start using that shit for evil if they aren't trained to do it. And I feel like that could have been a possibility with Grogu. But no, we just don't fucking think about that, I guess, right? Luke's dumbass over here is like, hey, little guy, I know you miss your dad so bad, but like, I mean, you have to forego your attachments if you want to be a Jedi. Come on, man. And then Grogu's like, and then Luke's like, okay, if you really want to be with your dad so bad, you can go back. I mean, you can, who cares that I'm trying to start my own fucking Jedi council? Who cares that I'm starting to teach the next generation of Jedi? You can, my first student, you can go along and go back to your father. I'll find some more. It's fine. Who cares that it's so hard? Like, it's so agonizing to me. It really is. It really is. This is what happens when I don't have a script. I feel like I've gone all over the place right now. The main issue isn't that Grogu isn't being taught to be a Jedi. That's not the main issue. The main issue isn't that he could become a rogue force wielder that is like evil. Obviously, that's not going to be the case. But I'm just saying that like I can't imagine what would happen if a force wielder with attachments, when they always say that's basically what the Sith do. Like it's such a big thing. Anyways, that's not the main point. The main point is the emotional and compelling stories that could have come from the show if they had just dedicated more than 2 episodes in a series that wasn't even the Mandalorian series. Think of the possibilities of what could have happened. That's the main point of this video, is that they really dropped the ball fucking hard with this story arc. They really could have done so much more with it. And then in the Boba Fett show, when they're reunited, it's literally in the middle of battle, and Grogu just sees him and like jumps onto him, and it's like, hey buddy, I'm so happy to see you, but I'm in the middle of fucking killing people, sorry. Like, it was so rushed. It was so rushed, and it really, to me, it feels like it ruins a lot of what The Mandalorian could have been.